New York City Mayor Eric Adams has denied allegations that he sexually assaulted a colleague in 1993. According to a legal summons filed Wednesday, the plaintiff alleges Adams sexually assaulted her when they were employees for the city of New York. The three-page filing, first reported by the Messenger, also named the New York Police Department's Transit Bureau and the Guardians Association of the NYPD as defendants in the lawsuit, according to the Associated Press. Plaintiff was sexually assaulted by defendant Eric Adams in New York in 1993, while they both worked for the city of New York. The summons reads. The lawsuit is seeking a trial into the matter and $5 million in relief, according to the AP. In a statement, a City Hall spokesperson told The Hill the mayor vigorously denies the allegations against him. The mayor does not even know who this person is. If they ever met, he doesn't recall it, the spokesperson said, but he would never do anything to physically harm another person and vigorously denies any such claim. The lawsuit against Adams, 63, is the latest one filed under the Adult Survivors Act, a state law that allows people who say they were victims of sexual abuse to file civil suits after the statute of limitations has expired. The state law, which expires Friday, also saw victims file lawsuits against famous male celebrities, including rapper and music mogul Sean Diddy Combs, Academy Award winning actor Jamie Foxx, Interscope Records co founder Jim Levine, Guns N' Roses frontman Axl Rose, and comedian Bill Cosby. Adams, who started as a city police officer before entering politics, has had his electronic devices seized by the FBI last week amid an ongoing federal investigation into his 2021 mayoral campaign fundraising. Adams has denied any wrongdoing in the matter, the Associated Press contributed. Adams is not a political figure I would call myself a fan of. I don't know that much about him. I remember earlier this year he put up a sponge while he was giving a press conference, and it was pretty goofy to observe that. But I'm inclined to. So I was never that big of a Me Too proponent. I thought it just kind of it started off with some noble intentions of finding all these different men that have been doing things to women, but then it devolved into just a bunch of allegations being thrown around left and right, usually accompanied with no evidence. And based off of the way I'm reading this, I'm inclined to think that Adams is probably innocent. Again, unless they show some evidence. I mean, even the FBI seizing his electronics has nothing to do with these allegations, and is more so having to do with shady funding of his campaign, which I'd be a lot more inclined to believe he's guilty of, just because politicians in the U.S. are corrupt in general. But when I look at this law and the fact that it's expiring within a day now, it seems to me that there's a certain opportunism to, okay, I may have met this famous man in the past. I may have worked with him in the past. I may have known him 10 years ago, 20 years ago, in Adam's case, 30 years ago. But to see if I can get some money, I'm going to spin this story that he did something to me, no evidence, and hope that because of my gender and the fact that there are already people that don't like this public figure, they believe me. Because I said, why would she wait 30 years to say something? They went, oh, well, maybe she waited 30 years to say something because the law to get some money possibly off of a lawsuit is expiring in a few days, and this probably never happened to begin with, but she thinks she can get a quick paycheck off of filing a claim like this. So I'm inclined to believe that he's innocent. I'm not his fan. I'm not some. I don't know. New York's mayors and governors as of late have just been kind of whatever to me, especially Cuomo, for example, who I did believe the allegations against, because in that case they actually had um, boatloads of evidence, pictures and emails and recordings. It just way too much stuff for any person to reasonably deny. But in Adam's case, I'm leaning towards him being innocent. Now that I know that that's a state law that's expiring, and there's all these other famous men that they're going, he did this, he did this, he did this, he did this, he did this. It looks like it's a pattern that of just a bunch of women trying to make some money. Like the only one of these I'd heard before reading this article was the Jamie Foxx one, and I can't get into that one at all. So I think it's just a cash grab for these people. But maybe as if the trial progresses, they'll come up with something. Um, and I have no reason to believe that he probably doesn't. I assume they said the person's name at some point. He probably doesn't remember them. This was 3 decades ago. I mean, if you ask me who did I sit next to 10 years ago in class, I might have a hard time remembering. But especially if it's been over a quarter century later. So I think we're probably going to end up either having this case thrown out, or there's like a off chance they might find some stuff. But it all just seems to be more of the same old word of mouth. Let me wait, several years or decades before I come out and make my allegations against this famous man. And, 9 times out of 10, they have no evidence, but people automatically believe them using bogus statistics. Um, it's sad that we have two trials in the U.S. The actual court and the court of public opinion, and if you're a man and you're a famous man at that, all it takes to have your reputation destroyed is some woman getting on social media or in front of a press conference or going to a news station and saying that you touched her years ago. She doesn't need any evidence, just automatically believed by some people to for really no reason at all other than why would they make this up? Well, that 5 million seems like a good reason to exaggerate some things.